Hey y'all, what's up? What's good? Welcome back to 7 Days of Daily Growth with Nay. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Wednesday. Let's journal about it, I'm fresh off work, on the floor. I done got comfortable because I got to do some homework before I even can go to bed. So, hey, look, listen, it's one of them nights. But I'm here, I'm showing up, and I feel great. I feel amazing, So, I'm happy to be here. So tonight's journal prompt is dig a little deeper into some things you have learned along the journey of healing and growth. What is the most important or relevant lesson that you have learned, even if it's something that you thought about yesterday? So just elaborate more on that if you want to. That's what I'm going to do. And then journal about why that is so. So why is that specific thing that you've learned or you found relevant on your journey? Why is that important to you? Why has it been important to you? Even if it's negative, how have you worked on it? Because, taking something negative and fixing it is very important. It's very important to be able to look at yourself and know negative traits and be willing to work on them and change them. Because you're doing it for yourself and it just makes you a better you. Because, you're learning about it. And then you're choosing to correct it. To understand it and okay, if I do this better, if I change this about myself, if I start doing this more, it'll make my life better. So the most important thing that I learned to me, and overall, I didn't start it off with this, but overall, what was important to me was not to let things worry me. Because I'm a worrier. So for me, I had to learn how to just live freely, just surrender it, just keep going. Because life happens and I can't equate that to my life being over just because something big or small has happened where, okay, I might be set back now, or, I can't do this, I might not be able to do that. So that's just something that's been important and relevant in my life. Because I have a tendency to shut down, Like, my worry starts as worry, and then it becomes stress, and then it becomes panic, and then it becomes, all right, F it. It becomes very negative. And then it puts my mindset very negative, where I'm like, forget it all. It don't even matter. When that's not the case, I shouldn't react like that. I should, be like, all right, cool, it's all right, it'll work itself out, something like that in that nature. But, I've known myself not to do that. So that was the biggest lesson for me, for real, is if you can't change it, if you can't do nothing about it, especially at that moment, just let it work itself out. So I wrote to be free of mind, body, and soul, to learn to surrender things with no worries. I'm a person that worries a lot. When something goes wrong or something comes up or I have to handle something and don't know how I'm going to handle it, I tend to immediately go into worry mode. How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? Who can I? What's happening? Oh my gosh, life is over, and half the time, when I look back, y'all can blame it yourself in some of the situations you be in, for real. And then I be having the nerve to just stress when I already know that I put myself where I was at. So I start to panic and worry, which then leads to me stressing. Yet I can look back, even before my journey, and realize that everything has always worked itself out in my life. And that's the truth. Even before this journey, I can look back. I can think of times when I've almost died of worry, panic, and, I look at where I am now and I'm like, it's always worked itself out. I was thinking about just how I am, and I know I'm the type of person that life happens and I just get so stressed And when I said earlier, you know, it'd be my fault, but also not. A lot of times it's 50-50. A lot of times I put myself in situations where, you know, I don't even know why I'm surprised, I'm worried. And other times, you know, life really just be happening. And it's just like, dang, you know, how I get here. But, you know, I can look back at all of that and I can see where I'm at now as I was writing that. And I'm like, you know, it's always worked itself out. And again, I can look back at times where, again, the stress and the worry, and I can look back, you know, and see a time after that where it worked itself out. So, you know, I just realized that it always worked itself out. Because one of the things I learned, you know, is that to not stress the little stuff. Don't stress the stuff you can't change. Stop worrying. You know, I learned that through, you know, God, the Bible. Not to worry about tomorrow, you know. Not to worry. Have faith in God. Have trust in God. He's going to work it out. But it was something that, you know, I was just learning. So I wasn't understanding. And I definitely wasn't applying it. Because guess what? I remember one time on my journey, you know, of already knowing not to worry. You know, God works everything out. And I'm riding the car and I'm stressed, like tripping out. But then, you know, I just started talking to God and, you know, I let it all out, you know, how I was feeling about it. You know, not even asking for nothing. You know, I just be real about my feelings when I talk to God, you know, because He know your heart. So if I'm frustrated and I'm mad, pissed off, I tell God, like, man, I'm mad. Like, I can't help it. Like, I'm pissed off right now. So I was telling Him, you know, like, in the car, I was like, you know, this is stressing me out. Like, what am I going to do? And so, you know, definitely realized that, you know, things work itself out and that I don't have to worry, especially on my journey with not just life, but with God, you know, strengthening my relationship with Him. You know, a part of that is trusting and believing that everything's going to work itself out and having faith. It's hard. The hardest thing, I believe, is having faith, to me. Especially when you're not used to, you know, things. Well, in your opinion, you're not used to things working itself out. Like, you know, you don't really see it that way at first. You might see it as like luck, or you might see it as, you know, something little, like this is my support system or this is that. But it's actually, you know, stuff working itself out. It was going to happen anyway. You know, it's that time when something happened and you immediately, like emotional, like going off emotions, you're immediately stressed, you know, immediately panicky instead of trying to sit there and be logical about it and really see what's going on and seeing what you can do. Or again, just acknowledging it and then, you know, letting God have it if you're on a, you know, a faith journey, you know, because that's a part of it too. Not only just thinking logically, of course you need to think about it, but also give it to God. Like, all right, this is what I could do. So, you know, let me give it to you, and whatever come to me and whatever happens, you know, happens. So all that in one. Things work itself out eventually. Surrendering all of my problems and worries to Him because the battle is His. He wants my mind and heart clear at all times, especially since I am fulfilling my purpose. If I am worrying and stressing, then mentally I am in a frenzy. So I'm tripping, you know, I'm not being clear, you know, with my thoughts. If my mind is in a frenzy, if I'm stressed out, if I'm panicked, if I'm worrying, that's not a clear mind. That's me trying to figure out 30 solutions in one instead of just really acknowledging the problem and really thinking logically. Instead, I got 30 things going on 30 scenarios going on in my head. And I don't need all that. I just need to take time to really see what's going on and work through it. And then, you know, let it go. Like, all right, it's yours, God. Do what you want with it. Amen. It's yours. You know, but instead, you know, I'm focused on the stress and the panic and the worry that, you know, I know sometimes other stuff don't even matter no more. Because now I'm worried about this particular problem or situation that I feel like I need to fix, that how I'm going to fix it, what I'm going to do. So now my main focus is on worrying, when that ain't what God want me to be doing. He don't want me to have a problem, be in the car stressed out, get home stressed out, and I don't got time to do homework. I don't got time to pray, read my Bible. I always gotta look good, because I know what I want to say, but I got to see it too sometimes. You know, I'm just worrying. How I'm gonna figure this out? What I'm gonna do? I won't even be able to clearly be up here doing this, because, you know, worries in the back of my mind. Like right now, I ain't worried about nothing. But if I was, because I know me, if I was worried about something, I wouldn't be doing this, because I know how my mental works. And my mental works in a way where, you know, I can't focus on nothing else, because I got to figure this out. For real. I got to figure it out. I learned that even if I can't help but to worry, then I can just talk to God about what I'm feeling each time the worry tries to come back up. Because I know that's a thing for me. Like, even if I let it go, it reminds me at the same time, because I think for me, the time I'm talking about, it was a breaking point with my faith, you know, because, you know, I have felt like I had been doing good with trusting God, believing in Him, things working out, and then something happened out of nowhere. I just went into doubt. I'm like, man, what now? What I'm, you know? And so when I was in the car that day, you know, I was worrying, but then, you know, something in me was like, you know, talk to God. So I ended up talking to God, but I do know it came back to my mind a couple of times. And, you know, every time you got to go to God, you got to go back to Him. Like, you know, you got to get that self-doubt and worry out of your mind every time. As soon as it comes, zoop, got to go. Because it's going to come back. Especially if the problem hasn't been solved and, you know, it's still a problem. Of course, you're going to think about it again, because it has not been solved. And you still got a lot of questions about how you're going to solve it. A lot of scenarios that want to come back. So it's going to want to enter your mind again, but you can't let it. Do what you got to do to get back to where you was after you done let it go the first time. Because it's going to try to come back. So, you know, when you try to surrender things and let it go, don't think it's going to just be gone. Sometimes it try to come back depending on what it is. Like I said, when it comes to a worry situation, a stress, a panic situation, if it hasn't been, you know, fixed right then and there, sometimes it still comes to your mind and you still think about it, because you know that you need to fix it. But when you give something to God, you done gave it to Him, let Him handle it. It's His fight, it's His battle. I desire a life free of worry. Although I know things are going to happen, big and small, that does not mean I have to lose my mind about it. Worry tends to keep us stuck where we are, whereas being able to let go and continue to move as if nothing is wrong is key. Everything eventually works itself out, exactly as it should be. Trust and believe in that. Worrying will slowly but surely become less of an issue for you. So, you know, as I ended it, you know, I kind of felt like, you know, my message is for anybody that tends to worry tonight. Journal prompt is tailored to you. Just think about one lesson, whether negative or positive, and then elaborate on why it has been important or relevant to your life journey. Learning not to worry about things has allowed me to be, again, more free, more happier, more content. You know, I can't be stressed out and, you know, in a frenzy, worry, mental all messed up. I can't afford to live like that, because it stops everything, especially in my world. You know, because now I gotta figure stuff out, because you know sometimes life happen out of nowhere, out of the blue, when you least expect it. Like, come on now. So I'm gonna share this little story with y'all before I end, because also, even being, you know, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with also being discouraged. Like, if you get discouraging news or anything like that, and, you know, you kind of start to worry because it was what you least expected. or you kind of just be like, man, or you know, it kind of gets you down, a little bit stressed, it kind of stops your world, you know, because it ain't what you expected to hear, and things might have to change for you or go a little differently. And that causes worry, and that causes just, again, a frenzy. And of course, when you hear, you know, disappointing news, that's something that's going to be stuck in your head, you know, because you like, dang. And so I think that's a part of it too, like, you know, also hearing something, you know, as far as like that lesson that I learned, you know, I feel like that also goes hand in hand. And I meant to mention it. I didn't write it down, but I had thought about it, especially with the situation that I had that just came up with my own personal life. And so, you know, when I hear news that I don't want to hear, that gets stuck in my head. But, you know, I'm learning to let go and just keep living. Just like everything works itself out, everything happens for a reason. And, you know, where I'm at now, I got to see the good in everything. And it's crazy because there is good in, you know, this situation. So I'm just thankful to be where I am, because I feel like both of these things are negative things that, you know, I had to learn and work through and make better in my life to make it more, you know, freer, for me to live more freer, because I am somebody that worries a lot, and I don't want to be a person that worries a lot, because, you know, it stops over here. It stops everything. You know, it gets stuck in my head. I don't want, you know, disappointing news to be stuck in my head. I don't want to be stressed out trying to figure stuff out, and, you know, what's gonna happen? You know, I don't want to be like that. You know, hey, whatever happens, happens. Whatever it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be. You know, it happened for a reason. Like, that's my response. Like, it's happening for a reason. And so, y'all, a little personal story that I want to share with y'all before I end this video. So, I have 2 majors. I am a human development and family service major, and I am a philosophy major. And so I am supposed to graduate in December with both of my majors. That was the plan, right? That was the plan. And so now I believe I'm only going to be graduating with 1 degree, which is my philosophy degree. I have been in the human development and family service major since 2016. Since 2017. In 2016, my fall sophomore year, yes, it was fall, I was a sophomore. 2016, I got severely depressed, and I flunked out of school. I stopped going. I just chose to smoke and sleep and work and just repeat. I just stopped going to class, so I flunked out. And so, you know, that hurt my GPA so bad. But I ain't never really, I'm gonna keep it hot with y'all. I ain't never really paid attention to my college GPA. I don't even like looking at my grades. Ever since I flunked out, it kind of like scared me a little bit, because I want to be doing good, but I would hate if I'm doing bad, because it just be like, you know, when is this ever gonna be over? And it's like I still work and go to school, so, you know, like after that. And so for me, it's hard for me to do both, you know, especially since I deal with depression and I don't really like to be overwhelmed. But, you know, where I'm at now, I value my education, and of course, you know, gotta get this money, gotta work, you know, until I get where I want to be. You know, I ain't where I want to be, but it's paying the bills. Amen. That's what Kevin Gates said, and that's the truth. You know, I get there, you know, not tripping. But I can be honest and say, on my part, I don't put my all into school, into college, you know, like I should. You know, that isn't my 100% focus. I feel like ever since, you know, me flunking out and going back right after in 2017, I just felt like I've been doing what I gotta do to get by. So I really wasn't looking at the importance of my GPA. And so, you know, where I'm at now, I passed at least, you know, D's and F's don't cut it. So I at least had C's, B's, A's, you know. It's probably a scattered grade. I don't know. Like I said, I don't look. I didn't really start that looking until like last year. Like, forget it. But, you know, I've been doing really good. But now that it's time for me to graduate, y'all, she hit me with, you know, I can't graduate with that major until I bring my GPA up. And I'm like, I was laying in bed last night and I read the email and I'm like, are you serious, my girl? You know, because, you know, I'm so close to the end, especially with that major. You know, I just picked up my philosophy major. But I've been doing the human development and family service major since January 2017. That's almost 5 years now, because I took a year off. So that's almost 5 years come next semester. I'm just, you know, I'm not tired because it allows me to learn all I want to know about children. You know, it has also inspired me to want to homeschool my kids, you know. And so I know that's why God put me through that, because that's something that I truly want to do, is homeschool my kids. And he's giving me, you know, this particular education, what I'm being educated in order for me to help me do that. If I wanted to, you know, put my own daycare in my home, I could do that because I know how to do all that. And so, you know, I know this isn't for no reason. I've known that. That's why I went back to school after my year off and was like, I gotta finish this, because I know it's for a reason. It never was for no reason. And for her to just hit me with that email last night telling me I can't graduate until May 2023, I'm like, are you serious? She was like, you gotta pick up some more classes to get your GPA up and stuff like that. The only thing I'm worried about is my financial aid, for real. So I'm like, yo, can I pick up 4? You know, I'm trying to be a full-time student, you know. I gotta it some way, somehow. So she was like, yeah, and she asked me if I wanted to pick up, you know, this maternal and something. Let me look. I'm gonna look it up for y'all. Let me just say, I love my advisor. She is Black, and you know, she's been with me since 2017, and she is amazing. Like, I know she's sick of me, but she is amazing. So then she asked me, did I want to pick up a maternal and child health certificate as well. She was like, you already done took 2 classes, so you know, you just gotta take 2 more, and then 2 of your choice, and you know, you'll have your degree. And then she also said I have a certification in maternal and child health. And so I'm like, you know, okay. And she was like, well, do you want the certificate? I'm like, yes, you know, because more education. I love learning about kids. I love kids. So more education, more power. But last night it hit me like, are you serious? I've been so ready. So y'all, to me, that was so disappointing. So I pray to God that my philosophy advisor don't hit me with some, yeah, you got no, at least let me get 1, you know. But either way, it don't stop nothing. Can't stop, won't stop, you know. I put on social media last night, like, it'll all make sense one day, but it didn't even take one day for it all to make sense, you know. She hit me with that email, just, you know, breaking down what I had to do. Cause I text her back, and I had a little attitude though. I know she could sense it, cause she didn't even email me back. I was like, you know, I guess that's okay. Whatever I gotta do to graduate. And so, you know, she ain't sent nothing back, so I hit her back today at work, and I was like, you know, can I take enough classes to be full time? Because, you know, she told me I only needed a couple of classes, but I'm down to take as many as I need to be full time, cause, you know, as a Black girl that, you know, got student loans, I gotta, you know, do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So full time for me to be able to pay for my classes, I ain't got no worries. And I'm adding on a certification in maternal and child health. Because guess what? Now I got the skills to have my own daycare in my home, which I'm not. I think I want to build something for my kids to have, but it ain't gonna be like open to the public. It'll just be for my kids, but it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna look like a little daycare the way I want it to be, you know, because I know how I work in daycare, so I know how they have them and stuff. So I want to kind of mirror that a little bit in my own home. But also now, you know, I feel like that's for me being able to, I don't even know what it means by maternal and child care, honestly, but it's giving me like when they real young, and you know, their health as far as like if they got asthma and stuff like that. So me being able to give them CPR and stuff like that. So that's also, you know, something good to have under my belt. So, you know, like I said, I was a little sad, but then, you know, as I thought about it, and, you know, like I was saying, as she was telling me what I can do and telling me that I can also get this certification as well while I'm still going, I'm like, hey, you know, why not? And it makes sense. It all comes full circle because, you know, like I was telling my best friend, as long as I'm here to see it, it is what it is. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep striving. And that's growth for me, because something like that for me would have had me like, what? I'm close, are you telling me? But, you know, I had to look at myself too, you know, and I always look at myself first, and I'm like, well, you can't even be mad because, you know, ever since you did flunk out that one semester, you've been clawing your way up. Yes, but have you been giving your all? Always been giving your all A's, all A, and I haven't, you know. It's been some A, B, C's, you know, and it is what it is. As long as I make it out of there, it don't even matter, because I plan to keep going. So, you know, I'm ready to get that particular degree. But, you know, because last night I was like, God, I don't know what you're doing. But, you know, today I was just like, whatever you're doing, God, it got to be for a reason, you know. And so I'm going to stand on it, and I'm going to take care of business, because I ain't stopping. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure I'm good, to make sure, you know, I accomplish what I set out to accomplish, no matter how long that takes, you know. And I love learning about children. I love kids, so it's all good in the hood. But that's just an example, because that's something that'll be eating me alive in my head right now. But, you know, after talking to her, and it's crazy because she even sent me some angel numbers. I gotta look them up. She sent me some angel numbers. My registration pin is angel numbers. So I'm like, you know, hey, stuff is always meant to go how it's supposed to go. It's meant to be. Just keep going, you know. And that's a test for me. God tests me with stuff like that, you know. It's a setback, because in my mind, it ain't really a setback, but, you know, in my mind it is, because I want it to be done, especially with this specific degree, you know. How I start philosophy after this degree and I get the philosophy degree first, I don't know. But, you know, it's for a reason, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep striving, because, you know, again, I had forgot where I was going, but yeah, you know, God just he's seeing about me, like, hey, I gotta put this out there for you, but how you gonna handle it? How you gonna look at it? And, you know, I did have a little attitude, and I was a little sad last night, but today, immediately, I'm like, you know, what's up? What's the plan? What's the game plan? And she laid it out for me, and I'm taking it. I'm going after it. So it is what it is, you know. I can't stress it. I can't panic. I can't worry. I can't feel bad. Ain't no need for no sympathy, you know. It was very disappointing news, but I ain't gonna let it sit in my head, and I ain't gonna complain about this hand I was just dealt. I'm gonna just play it. Everything always works itself out, and this is one of those things. Everything happens for a reason, and this is one of those things, you know. God on my side. All I can do is keep going. I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Hey, they already done accepted my financial aid for next spring anyway, so let's get on out of there, you know. So I'm just proud of my growth, and also to see that lesson in effect again, you know, to see that that's something that I learned and applied to my life. Why worry about that when I could just keep going? There's an end goal, so why I'm stressed, be mad, be sad, be hurt, when all I can do is keep going, keep striving. Because it's going to happen. It's meant to happen. So, y'all, that's all I have for y'all. Make sure y'all check out the journal prompt in the description box. Make sure y'all journal it. Make sure y'all write in your notes or just think about it. Just dwell on it for a second, and just make sure you continue to understand these lessons and apply them when they are learned, no matter what aspect that looks like for you. And I needed to hear that, because it's a lot of stuff I still need to apply, you know, really understand and get it and apply. That's why you keep going through stuff, because you don't really understand it and you dang sure ain't applied it, you know. So y'all be safe, y'all stay blessed, y'all stay beautiful, be humble, Be patient. It's coming. It's coming. Be kind. Be gentle. Show compassion, not just to other people, but yourself. You know, I had to show myself some kindness and compassion. Like, you know what? Hey, you gonna get there. It's already yours. You are love. Love is within you. Show love. Be love. You are light. Shine your light for everyone to see. Be yourself. Only you can be you. Only you can do you the way you do you. You are unique. There's only one you. I love you all from my heart to yours.